member in District 114. He is an entrepreneur and environmentalist. Please help me welcome our Toastmaster of the day. Atul, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zara. Today we're going to speak, I'm going to speak, and we're going to discuss about know a leader's superpower. We always saw people saying yes, or we feel shy, or we feel embarrassed to say no, or we feel very bad or feel that it might hurt others. 99% of the people on this world cannot say no. Saying no is one of the most difficult things in life, but leaders use the power of no. No helps us in big, in staying focused. It helps us for setting boundaries. And no is a powerful tool where we can, it's not just saying no directly, but in always as we use the sandwich method in similar terms, when we say no to a person, let us say by using the sandwich method, let us be positive. Let us give a sandwich approach. Let us say by saying yes, and then let us agree with them. And then what are the difficulties you really face to do that challenge or to do that option? And then give a positive response. That helps us, that helps the listener or the person you're dealing with to be humble, to have a positive relationship, and to go for a longevity. Because directly saying no would really hurt a person, would really embarrass a person. But let's say no strategically and not hurting each other. No helps us to encourage growth. At, at the end of the day, in this life, as leaders and members of leadership speak and being self directed leaders, we all we have to set our boundaries. We have to stay to our values because it helps. It not only helps where we reach, but it also helps on reaching our visions, our goals, or what we want to achieve. It might be big or small, but to achieve that big or small, we should learn by saying no to things that are distracting us or creating a noise which is which is stopping our vision, which is distracting our vision. Just imagine today is a meeting for leadership speak. And I get two other calls. Oh, I want to talk to you. I want to do this. Or could you attend my meeting? I just could say no. I just could say no because I already committed to leadership speak, being the Toastmaster of the day. I already committed to do, I already to committed to all of them, to all the Toastmasters and guests that I am the Toastmaster of the day. So I cannot say yes to everything. I just need to focus on being no, and that is my superpower today. And that's what I really find. And we all have to use know a leader's superpower. Just let us introspect ourselves. Let us introspect ourselves. Maybe within the next 24 hours or 48 hours, it's an action to take that we, during the meeting or after the meeting, just introspect yourself. What is my vision? What is my goal? What I want to achieve within a month or within a day? And what things can I say no? And how many of us can courageously and daringly say no? And that would be the real start. So today's meeting would be beautiful. And in between of the meeting, I would continue some few things about no being a superpower for the leaders. So today's meeting is going to be in three phases. In we'll have prepared speeches, and we'll have an educational speaker and the evaluations. So, as we all know, that evaluation is the key for champions, And that's where we grow. And these evaluations are not just for the speakers, but for all of us, so that we grow as a whole. So, friends, today I would start the meeting. We have a couple of role takers. Coming to the starting of the meeting, let us welcome uh, Phoebe and Joseph for giving the toast of the theme.
What if the most powerful tool a leader has isn't their title or authority, but their ability to unlock the potentials in others? Toastmasters, empathy is a leader's greatest superpower. It's not just understanding, it's connecting, empowering, and lifting others up. Empathy drives success for the entire team. And for too long, we thought leadership was about giving orders. But true leadership isn't about directing tasks, it's about guiding people. A great leader doesn't just lead, they inspire and empower those around them. Empathy sparks growth. It's about offering feedback that fuels inspiration, creating opportunities that let others thrive, and ensuring that people feel seen and heard. And as leaders, our job is to help others rise to their full potential. But empathy alone is not enough. It must be paired with a clear vision. And while we uplift others, we must ensure that our efforts align with the collective goal. Empathy without vision, it's like a ship sailing without a destination. Leadership guides others not just to rise, but towards a common purpose. Empathy means being there, especially through tough times. It's offering support, belief in others when they can't believe in themselves, and always staying true to the shared vision. Leadership is about seeing the greatness in others and helping them achieve it, always with the theme mission in mind. Each of us here today has the power to choose what kind of leaders we want to be. Toastmasters, let's commit to lead with empathy, inspire and empower those around us to reach their full potential. Let's be the leaders who inspire, who empower, and who move others towards greatness. Today, I wish to toast to empathy, the superpower that elevates us all. And I invite you, wherever you are, to unmute your mics, put on those cameras, and let's raise our glass as we toast to the superpower of leadership, empathy.
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 Leadership, empathy. Empathy.
Empathy.
Back to you.
Empathy.
Thank you, Phoebe, for the great toast. We all were inspired. So let's welcome our second role taker, that is the timer. Timer, whenever I was the timer, it always developed punctuality and timing sense in me and to be a better be a time management in my life. So let us welcome Toastmaster Francois J. Bowen, who is the timer, and the floor is yours.
Atul, we've replaced Francois with Baron for the time being.
Sure. Thank you, Baron. Thank you, Bram. Let's welcome Baron. Baron.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. It is my role today as timer to ensure that I display the timer's cards when the speakers are delivering their speeches, and I will do so according to the agenda. I will share the green card, the yellow, and the red as stipulated in the times in the agenda, and later on share my report. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Baron. Let us welcome our third role taker, who is the grammarian, Toastmaster Irene. Toastmaster Irene, grammarian, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language, as well as outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And the word of the day is clarity, which means the quality of being expressed clearly. An example in a sentence is the clarity of their club vision is reflected in the projects that they pursue. I encourage every speaker to use the word of the day. And later on in the meeting, when called upon, I will give my report and use of the word of the day. Back to you, Toastmaster Atul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Irene. You have given us the clarity of being a grammarian, and let us use the word of the day, clarity, today in our speeches, in our speaking, and let us imbibe it in our meeting today. Thank you, Toastmaster Irene. So before I welcome Toastmaster Guerdah, she's our educational speaker today, and she would be speaking on empowering yourself, the freedom in saying no. When asked upon, why did you craft a speech? The freedom in saying no as a spiritual life coach, I see too often the impact of constantly saying yes, she says. And what would the audience be getting from her speech when asked the benefits of saying no and freedom in practicing the skill? Let's welcome Toastmaster Guerdah Felix. Toastmaster Guerdah Felix, the floor is yours.
Atul, you got to call the evaluator.
I pardon. Okay. Would like to call the evaluator of the educational speaker. And Zoom Master, could you please spot Toastmaster Jyoti as well? Rosie Rana. Sorry. Is Rosie there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, shall I just deliver it from here? Thank you. Well, today Guerdah is delivering from the Persuasive Influence path. She's delivering a level 5 project. And for this, she's chosen to speak from the Professional Speaker project. And she can choose a topic of any subject she likes. And we have heard the topic that she has chosen. The purpose or the objective of this project is for the member to practice delivering a longer speech and holding the audience attention for a longer period. And as is true to this project, she will be delivering within 18 to 22 minutes. And I'm sure the timekeeper has that. All the best, Guerdah, and I look forward to your presentation. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rosie. Empowering yourself, the freedom in saying no, Toastmaster Guerdah. Toastmaster Guerdah, empowering yourself, the freedom in saying no. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. In any relationships, you must learn to say no, even if you usually say yes. Those were my mom's words when we were in our teenage years. I must admit that I did not understand what she meant at that time, but my experiences taught me the meaning of her message. Learn to say no, even if usually you say yes. Ladies and gentlemen, not saying no may feel like the path of least resistance. It starts innocently, agreeing to plans, helping others, or picking up extra responsibilities. To keep the peace, we say yes. To avoid disappointing anyone, we say yes. And to be nice, we say yes. And before you know it, you neglect your own needs. You have little sleep, and you find yourself completely drained. I know. I have been there. Not once, not twice, but many times. My mom's words echoed in my ears all through the years. You must learn to say no, even if you usually say yes. Well, today I am going to share with you 6 points of the importance of saying no. From a personal point of view, meaning as your self-empowerment tool, and also from a leader point of view. My mom would say, "Con limitu," which means know your limits. Point number 1, saying no establishes healthy boundaries so that you can prioritize your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being. By saying no, you create a space for the things that truly matter to you without feeling overwhelmed, overcommitted, or even overworked, which would eventually bring you to a feeling of resentment. And I can tell you from experience, resentment, shame, and blame are very heavy emotions to carry. My mom would also say, "Fais attention ou pas tourner your marionnette," which means be mindful not to be used as a puppet. Point number 2, saying no increases self-knowing and confidence. Saying no is an act of self-knowing. Please be mindful. I did not say self-respect. I said self-knowing. Because to me, we can respect what we know. Therefore, when we say no, it helps us to hone in to who we are. It helps us to know and to value our own needs, desires, and limitations, which in turn will make us feel more confident. That will also strengthen your ability to make decisions that align with your personal goals and values. Saying no is very important. To know yourself. In the story of Esther in the Bible, King Xerxes sent his eunuchs to go and tell Vashti, Queen Vashti, to come so she could parade in front of his men. Vashti, so courageous, sent back a message to the king. Do you want to know what that was? She said, no. In those times, saying no to the king would mean that you could have your head chopped. And yet she decided to say no because this was against her values. It definitely takes courage, that is for sure. But I learned a valuable lesson by learning the story of Queen Vashti. My mom would also say, c'est pas parce que j'ai 4 pattes que li couri dans 4 directions. That means, and this is a quote in the Haitian language, it says, it's not because a dog has 4 legs that it runs in 4 different directions. Well, saying no reduces stress and avoids burnout. Dr. Gabor Mate, in his book, When the Body Says No, explains the cost of hidden stress. By practicing your right to say no, you avoid overloading yourself with responsibilities and obligations that perhaps were not yours to begin with. It is important for us to pay attention to what our body is telling us before we make a decision, before we run into saying yes, when in fact, we should be saying no. Saying no reduces stress, prevents burnout, and helps maintain a healthier balance. I started with those 3 points because I want you to know that these are the foundations of who you are. So pay attention to the things that are calling you to say no to. And pay attention also to the things that are calling you to say yes. It will give you a clear indication of your convictions, of your values, of who you are. And no one can change that. And now on to the 3 other points. As self-mastered individuals, making sure that we say no when necessary will help us take care of ourselves. As self-directed leaders, you have a duty, not only to yourself, but also to each other and to others who are in your care. Yes, as leaders, we become the example to follow, whether you believe it or not. People will follow you. So that's why it is important to be mindful of what you say yes to and also what you say no to. Point number 4. Saying no models healthy boundaries for the team. As a leader, saying no sets an example for your team, showing the importance of managing time and energy effectively. As you practice setting boundaries for yourself, you also encourage your team members to do the same. And that way you create a culture of respect for individual needs and, and work-life balance. Imagine, and I'm sure that perhaps some of you have experienced this, being under the tutelage of a leader that has difficulty to say no. It affects you. It affects you not only spiritually, it also affects you mentally and physically. That's why when choosing a leader, choose a leader that knows how to set proper boundaries. Number 5, saying no helps leaders become more strategic and gain clarity and focus. As a leader, you know that you will receive many demands, especially when you are good in your craft. Can you do this? Can you do that? Oh, I thought of you because you are so good at doing this. Or even some people will come to you and say, I think you should do this. And it is important as a leader for you to say no. We have a great example in leadership speak. Our leaders know how to say no. And we as members, we feel supported. As you know, Leadership Speak is a very different club. But some people will come and say, this is what you should do, without even knowing the vision and the mission of Leadership Speak. We are blessed to have a team who knows how to prioritize and how to say no. Point number 6, saying no builds trust and integrity. When leaders say no thoughtfully and consistently, it builds trust with their team. It shows integrity. It shows honesty in communication, as well as a commitment to the overall mission. A leader who can say no without guilt creates a culture of transparency and mutual respect. And it is also a blessing to be under such tutelage. I have had the opportunity to experience both a leader who can say no and a leader who cannot. And if you ask me, I will choose the leader who says no. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever felt run down, tired, even to the point of having a mental breakdown, know that it is important for you to practice your no muscle. It is important for you to say no as much as you can, because it will teach you something about yourself. Saying no is a very empowering tool. It helps leaders to be more effective, to focus on what truly matters, and inspired their teams to do the same. There is freedom in saying no. I've learned many lessons, hard-earned lessons, but they were valuable, invaluable, in both my personal and my professional life. I found out that by learning to say no, I could give more to what I really cared about. Saying no is a sign of strength. Saying no is a tool for growth and balance. I also learned, and sometimes at my own expense, that not everything deserves a yes. And most importantly, I learned that by saying no, that I was loving myself. And since I learned to love myself, I am able to love others. And there is freedom in that. Now let's go even deeper. It turns out that saying no is not the problem. Our conditioning around the word no is. Therefore, it is important for us to know, why is it so hard for us to say no? Why is it so hard that when our body is telling us that we need to say no, and we go with yes? Why is it so hard? This is what we need to pay attention to. And the other thing that I've also learned, especially in this day and world that we live in, and we want to be nice all the time, therefore we do not say no. But here is what I learned, and this is something that all Toastmasters will know. The project of knowing your communication styles will also help you in saying no. Because by learning not only your communication styles, but you also learn other people's communication style. And that helps you in how you communicate your no. There is power in that. Now, let me conclude. My mom said, in your relationships, learn to say no, even when you usually say yes. For your no's will reveal the other person's character. Yes. Wouldn't it be something that you want to know from the start? Who's for you and who's not? Fellow Toastmasters, work on your no muscle, because there is freedom all around in saying no. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guerdah. Thank you for empowering ourselves and getting clarity for saying the freedom of saying no. It was intense, it was knowledgeable, and you shared inspirational stories and your personal stories as well. Before I go to the speakers, I would like to say some personal stories of saying no. Saying no isn't just about being negative, it's about being smart, it's about being focused. I'll tell you some few stories, one or two stories about what no really made a great significance in my life. I was Toastmasters, I'm into entrepreneurship, and people started inviting me to Rotary and other clubs as well. But in life, I had a vision that Toastmasters would really help my vision and my entrepreneurship and my life to go good, to, to go hands on. and it would develop me to the next level. So even though people invited me, they forced me, they called me to the introduction meetings, they called me to be part of their guest meeting, but I always said, no, that's not my cup of tea. Rotary is not my cup of tea, or any other institution is not my cup of tea. And that helped me to focus on my Toastmasters and as well as my entrepreneurship. These are my two things. That's it. These are my two babies, Toastmasters as well as my business. And always saying no, people got offended. Some people even they deleted my contact. Some of them, they were speaking badly about me, but I didn't ever mind it. I knew myself. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just wanted to focus on my priorities. So friends, let's learn to say no today, and but don't say no to me, please. I will get offended. So let's go to the speakers. So let's welcome our first speaker, Toastmaster Arouna, who will be evaluated by Toastmaster Guerdah Shah. Toastmaster Guerdah Shah, you can introduce Toastmaster Arouna. Thank you. Hands to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Atul. And it's my pleasure to be the evaluator for Toastmaster Arouna. Arouna is doing Dynamic Leadership Pathway, Level 1, Project 4. Project 4 is divided into 3 parts. Toastmaster Arouna is doing Part 1, which is the purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from evaluator. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. Speech title, Truth About Communication. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guerdah Shah, for the introduction of Toastmaster Arouna. Toastmaster Arouna, when asked about why did you craft the speech, he says, first the story about importance of audience and need in communication. He is a Toastmaster since 2021, and he believes in analytical communication, and he wants the audience to know about the power of communication. The speech title is Truths About Communication. Truths About Communication. Arouna, the virtual floor is yours.
Arouna, you again? Enough is enough. You have always something to say, even if we did great. What's wrong with you? Get out. It was one Wednesday in 2009 during the release of the reports on household condition living in Burkina Faso when I share my comments about the reports published by the National Statistical Office, my previous institution. During this meeting, I shared my opinion, but after that, I was facing difficulties to be accepted in my new teams. Why? Because I share my opinion in the front of my boss. Fellow Toastmaster, dear guest, by doing this, I forgot one important law of power. Never outshine the master. According to Robert Greene, always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please or impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you may accomplish the opposite, inspire fear or insecurity. During the meeting, I told the truth, but my boss felt insecure because I pointed out the mistake in the report. As statistician, economics engineer, I'm an analytical communicator. I like facts and figures. I like to present things in a well-organized manner. At the beginning of my career, I was not diplomatic at all. But by the time I learned to be more diplomatic. Fellow Toastmaster, dear guest, I want to share with you 3 important things about communication. First one, the way you are telling the truth is more important than the truth itself when you are delivering speech. Always think about the impact of your speech to your audience. The second one is about the secret of Socrates. By talking with people, don't begin to discuss on things on which you differ. Always start by emphasizing the things on which you agree. And the last thing, not the least, is about feedback. When you have to give feedback, you must call attention people mistake and directly. Fellow Toastmaster, dear guest, this truth helped me to improve my communication skills and my relationships with my colleagues, my friends, and my family. Thanks to this truth, I shifted my communication focus to my audience needs. Currently, I'm working as macroeconomist specialized on financial markets at the Central Bank of West African country. It is a technical position, but communication is key in my job because I'm always organizing meeting, training, and also deliver speeches. Someone said, all in communication is about your audience. And thanks to Toastmaster, I learned to improve my communication skills and also my relationships with colleagues. First, in my communication, in my community club in Dakar, and now in leadership skills and leadership speak. As Dal Carnegie said, effective communication leads to better interpersonal relationship and allows you to live with influence. With for him, in out of 10 business failures, 9 are due to a lack of communication skills. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arouna. What great speech, great inspiration. And you really made what communication makes to the audience. Communication is the key. Before we go ahead, I would like Toastmaster Hannah, you can post the guest book on the chat, please. And if you have and any guests today, please register yourself in the guest book. Please register the form in the guest book. Any of the guests, new guests, or any of the guests in the meeting today, please. So let's go to our second speech. Our second speaker is Toastmaster Aries. Toastmaster Aries, who's going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Terence Query.
Atul,
Toastmaster of the day, thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it is my pleasure to evaluate the speech that will be delivered by Irish Cassinela in the next few minutes. Irish is attempting his level 4 project, project 4? That is under dynamic leadership. And the purpose of this project is for Irish to participate in or to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the team. The purpose of the speech, this being the second speech in that project, is for Irish to present a speech that reflects on his experience, applying what he learned during this experience. He has 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to you, Irish Cassinela. I look forward to your speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Terence. When asked Irish what would audience really take away from the speech, he mentioned broken window theory in context of leadership, the effect of neglect, addressing small issues in a systematic manner, leading to business transformation. The speech title, Disorder and Neglect, a recipe for project's failure. Toastmaster Iris, Disorder and Neglect, a recipe for project's failure. The virtual flow is yours. All the best.
About 70% of new business endeavors and projects fail, as per McKinsey 2021. Have you ever noticed in your neighborhood, if there is a building with a broken window, soon there will be more broken windows in that building? How about a car? Have you ever left your car in the street with a broken window? If you try, very soon there will be more broken windows against your car. The broken window theory was first coined by James Wilson and George Kelly back in 1982. It's based in the idea that if a broken window is left unrepaired, unattended, it will signal lack of care, lack of interest, and will lead to more broken windows, will lead to disorder, will lead to vandalism. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, let's talk about broken window in the leadership arena. Even though the broken window theory was initially discussed within the criminology world, where in New York City in the US, they implemented this theory by maintaining order, looking for policing law offenses that could prevent serious crimes. It's about preventing small issues. It's about preventing small problems from escalating to bigger problems. As leaders, what's the culture of care in your organization, in your church, at your house, in your community? Do you care? Do you care when your peers, your employees are breaking protocols, are breaking the rules or policies, or do you neglect? You start the business, right? Day one, John shows up late. You are a leader, you say nothing. No one says anything. John works in a warehouse. He stores boxes, items in a very disorganized fashion. You supervise John, you say nothing. Before you know it, more people are showing up late. More people are storing boxes in a very disorganized fashion because they feel comfortable. Small issues always lead to bigger issues when left to neglect. As leaders, are your expectations clear enough? Clarity is a major word for leaders. Are the expectations clear? Have a project to be delivered on time, on budget, and it's not delivered. How do you react as a leader? Do you accept those small issues, or you neglect those small issues? It has been proven that if issues are left unattended, they will continue to decay. What's the culture of accountability in your organization? Do you hold your people to account? Transition. Transition is a key word for us today. Doesn't matter which world, which industry you are working on. There will always be transitions. How do you react? How do you manage the environment? Blockbuster. Hopefully some of you guys have heard about Blockbuster. Blockbuster was once the dominant player in the video renting industry. Once approached by Netflix. I love Netflix. Netflix approached Blockbuster for a partnership. What is Blockbuster today? What is the video rental industry today? Blockbuster refused to shift into the digital streaming. Definitely a signal that was left unattended, was left to neglect. Blockbuster is no longer with us today. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, 1 year from now, you will arrive. 5 years from now, you will all arrive. The question is, where? I invite you to include the broken window theory in one of your leadership tools going forward. Let's commit to repairing broken window in organizations. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Iris. Thank you very much for really knowing what the difficulties in business and what are the major cause of failures. And it's a great lesson for everyone. Let me welcome our third speaker, Toastmaster Bindu, who will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sabnam. Toastmaster Sabnam, the floor is yours.
President, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and specifically Toastmaster Bindu, good evening from my side of the world. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. The purpose of this project is also for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. And this is her speech number 1. All the best and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sabnam. Toastmaster Bindu, she is a profession by doctor and a seasoned Toastmaster, and she is a Toastmaster by passion, I think just like me. And the speech title is The Silent Killer. The Silent Killer. Bindu, Silent Killer. The virtual floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Atul. Do you know how many of you are lurching with the silent killer amongst in the pathway of life? There are many. You know, according to the WHO, the leading cause of disability is depression. Now, being a doctor, I was one day sitting in my consulting room and I met a couple, Mrs. Suma and Mr. Regu. Mrs. Suma was breaking down. Dr. Bindu, I don't know what happened to my husband. He literally sits idle. And whatever I say, he keeps on asking me. He is not interested to do anything. And he almost sleeps all the time. I think he has a memory problem. Doctor, can you please do some investigation to find out the cause? While sitting in my chair, I was wondering what happened to Riku. Riku was very tired, sitting idle and keeping his head down. His clothes were shabby. I asked him. Clueless I was, because he was having a vacant stare. That's all. So I went ahead with investigations and examination, which also went clueless. Again, I came back to him. Spent 3 consecutive empathic listening sessions to find out and to get clarity in what Seema told me. There lied the problem. He opened up. Riku is a software engineer. He is working in Middle East. He had met a lot of challenges during his work schedule, and he was living alone. He had to cook by himself. He never had time to speak to his friends or to his spouse. He was not able to cope up. And there lied the problem. He came down. He came down to his native town in Chennai, and he didn't want to go back. He showed signs of depression, which the wife thought was just some memory problem. According to Helen Maybeck, she is a neurologist come scientist who had done phenomenal work on this depression, says that this is a tendency to slip into a negative mood state or our inability to disengage from that negative mood state. You, I, everyone, we all have stresses, isn't that? We all go through this negative mood states day in and day out. But what's the difference? It's all transient. Just comes and goes. But what if it occurs on a daily basis and at least for about 2 weeks? Then you call them as having depression. So, depression and memory loss, you might ask, what is the connection? Yes, there is a connection. You know what? When you're depressed, your levels of some feel-good hormones like serotonin and dopamine get decreased. And you lost the tendency to have a sustained selective attention. Thereby, you're not able to learn, you're not able to plan, you're not able to monitor you are not able to do things properly. And that will be interpreted as, rather misinterpreted as, memory impairment. It's true that chronic depression can cause the decrease in the size of the part of the brain which concerns with memory, that is hippocampus. So, mighty Toastmasters, we need to prepare ourselves not to get brutally killed by the silent killer. And mind you, you all have that ability to withstand depression. You know why? Because you have joined an organization called Toastmaster. And there you have a supportive environment, a very enlightening environment for you to grow. And that is very, very important. What are the other techniques by which you can stay away from the silent killer? One is to have that positive attitude. And I know that being in Toastmasters, we all have that positive environment. During our evaluations, the sandwich method is such a testament for that. Thereby, we embrace positivity and we think that negativity and negative mood states, along with the positive mood states, are just warp and weft of a fabric. It's a part and parcel of our lives. So let's embrace both, but be prepared ourselves. Now, how to again prepare ourselves? We need to find ways and means of increasing that, feel-good hormones, that dopamine, that serotonin. And how do you do that? Morning jogging or any physical exercise. It is the best antidote for depression, mind. Wrapping up, let's all prepare ourselves not to be killed brutally by this silent killer. Over to you, Toastmaster Atul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu. Thank you very much. You just not mentioned what is a silent killer, but also give the solution for silent killer and how to overcome depression, how to overcome the silent killers. Thank you very much. It was a very powerful and intense speech. I hope all our guests and members, we all follow this. Coming to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Suresh Kapiti, who is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Deobra Walker. Deobra Walker, could you please introduce Toastmaster Suresh Kapiti?
Of course. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Suresh is working on the Persuasive Influence Path, Level 3, Project 1, Understanding Conflict Resolution. In this speech, he is to discuss how he manages conflict, how to develop a stronger strategy, and the speaker's best attributes in a conflict situation. The speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and he will share his story. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deobra. Toastmaster Suresh is a seasoned Toastmaster and has held a good number of leadership roles in Toastmasters, which seems a very professional Toastmaster, and himself being an entrepreneur. And he owns a company, Kapiti Overseas Private Limited, and as well as started the Ignite Entrepreneurship. It's great to know he has been part of many forums and many organizations. Suresh Kapiti, Harmony at the Roundtable. Harmony at the Roundtable. Suresh Kapiti, the floor is yours.
Good day, fellow members and guests. I would like to share my recent conflict experience by organizing a roundtable. The best way to handle conflict is to prevent it. However, when you are organizing a roundtable event with diverse personalities, visionaries, and different viewpoints, conflict is almost inevitable. I learned this firsthand. I was tasked with the organizing a high-profile roundtable discussion for entrepreneurs in our association. Conducting a roundtable requires we have to work on different clarities, from the lack of clarity to seeking clarity, providing clarity, and maintaining the clarity, and finally achieving the clarity. At first, I was excited about this opportunity, bringing together the leaders and visionaries for the recipe of innovation. But I understood this recipe of conflict also I am making. The first challenge arose when deciding the agenda. Each participant having different idea what was most important. Some wanted to focus on funding, some wanted to focus on innovation, and some wanted to focus on different geographical challenges. As the organizer, I found myself stuck in the middle of trying to balance everyone's priorities. I decided to approach this conflict using three-step strategy. The first step is empathy. The second step is clarity. The third one is collaboration. First, I practiced empathy. I reached to each and every individual and I asked them why you are choosing this topic by listening their goals and perspectives. Then I provided a clarity. I outlined the purpose of the roundtable, fostering collaboration and exchanging the ideas to support the entrepreneurial growth. Finally, I encouraged collaboration. I proposed a compromise. The agenda would include a short segments of each key topic and also open for everyone. The real test came during the event. As the discussed progressed, a heated debates emerged a lot. And finally, a big heated argument between the two participants, while others are stressed for the caution, the another one taking the risk in the business. So drawing all these points, finally, I asked both the participants one question. Could you give us examples what you faced in your real life journey? Then the roundtable discussion going on between these two heated debated participants. Finally, they came to conclusion, and also they would like to extend the support in the collaboration as well. So this roundtable taught me two things. One, listen before you lead. Understanding other perspectives is the foundation for effective conflict resolution. And facilitate. Don't try to keep up your agenda is the only final. So in this way, I made one common ground for everyone. And I made this conflict is not a barrier. It's a bridge opportunity created. So finally, I would like to say one thing in this experience. Harmony is not absence of conflict. It is the art of managing it. With this, over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suresh. A beautiful, a strong, and a sensational speech for conflict resolution. It's not just about conflict resolution, because even I gave a speech about conflict resolution. I just give the concept of what conflict resolution. But when you give a speech with your personal experience, that really makes it effective. And today you displayed the value of personal experience and the person and the lessons which were learned by your experience. And thank you for sharing these experiences and which will help us and all our Toastmasters and guests in our real life. Thank you, Toastmaster Suresh. So let us welcome our final speaker. Our final speaker is none other than Toastmaster Vinod Panicker. Toastmaster Vinod Panicker, who is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Tony. Toastmaster Tony, the virtual floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Vinod is doing his icebreaker for the presentation mastery pathway. And as we all know, the icebreaker is a way for the speaker to introduce himself or herself to the club using any topic and using any style. And in this case, the style is to appeal to the audience. Now, Vinod asked me to consider three things, which I extend to all of us. The three things Vinod wishes for feedback on is he authentic, speaking from the heart? Second, is he going to hold our attention for a full 6 minutes? You know, after all, this is presentation mastery, so it's a noble objective. And third, is there any value to us? Any takeaway? So 3 words: authentic, attention, and value. So let's see what happens here. And you know it's going to be good because it's Vinod. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tony. When asked Vinod, why did you take the speech? He said, the love for learning. The speech title is Lost and Searching. Lost and Searching. Vinod Panicker. Vinod Panicker, Lost and Searching. That virtual floor is yours.
Once, a man was searching for something under a lamppost. While he was going in circle, a stranger passed by and asked the man, "What are you looking for?" The man said, "I lost my keys." The stranger asked, "Where did you lose it?" The man said, "In my house." "Then why are you looking it under the lamppost?" He said, "Because it is light over here and over there it's dark." Ladies and gentlemen, all my life, or most part of my life, I have been that person who has always been looking for something in the glitz and glamour. But there has always been a stranger who passed by in form of a teacher, a mentor, or a book or a research that has guided me to ask the right question. What are you doing in life? Or what do you want from life? In my 45 years of existence on this beautiful planet, one thing that I have understood about life is a puzzle. And there are 2 key pieces to this puzzle. If we can get it right, life will be a little less of suffering. And the 2 most important pieces are relationship and work. So I am going to share my experience of what I have learned from my relationship and from my work. The first thing, let's see about relationship. When I got married, I got lost. Now, in a good way, now let me explain why I say that. When I got married, it was like clash of titans. My wife is a very highly extrovert person. She's like, go, 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 go. And I, on the other hand, am like a fly on the wall. I keep quiet. I speak only in Toastmaster meetings. Other than that, you will always see me being a quiet person. Now, if I had heard this education session that time, my life would have been better. If I had that courage to say no, I would have not been stressed out that much in life. For the first 6 months of my marriage, I was going out every day. We used to go here, there, nearby countries, drive for 200 kilometers, and I felt drained. And my wife always pointed out and said, there is something lacking in you. Why don't you talk to people? See, my family, my father, my mother, they are doing this, they are doing that. She was right. Her family was just like her. It's like that Spartan movies. The Spartan king asks, Spartans, how are you doing today? And they go, "Ooh, ooh." The entire family was like that. If they came 1 kilometer away, you knew that they were coming. There was so much noise. And here I was, keeping quiet. I was not able to figure out a way, and I felt lost. And that was the time I had taken up a course on general management program in one of the institutes in India. And I was attending one lecture, and the session was organizational development class. She's one of the best teachers in India, Madam Niharika. She gave us a printed PDF file. We all were filling that. And after filling that form, we came up with 4 values. That was a Myers-Briggs type indicator test. And that test changed my life. That was the first time I understood that there is something called as introversion, and people who are introvert get energy from being with their own self. I went to my professor and asked, ma'am, I am facing this issue in my life. She said, meet me after the class. When I went and met her after the class, she held my hand and said, son, I can understand what you are saying because I am an introvert. After a 6 hours training or lecture, I don't speak for 2 hours with anyone, not my mom, not my husband, not my kids, because I need that time to refuel. That was the time that I understood that there are people who are introvert and extrovert in terms of how they spend their energy. And that was so relieving. But the bigger part was there is actually a scientific tool to see how do you see the world, how do you get energy, how do you take in information, and how do you make decisions in life. I took almost all the tests that is in the market, the strength finder, the FIRO test, the big 5, the disc, everything. And I encourage each and every one of you to do that. Now, that is not something which is comprehensive, and you should believe it that this is what I need to do. But at least it gives you a direction to search for your own self. The second thing, the concept about work. I started getting fed up about my work 8 years ago because I started asking myself a question: what is the purpose of my life? And when you ask such questions, the first thing, if you are an employed person, you would do is go home and not go back to work. I started doing the same thing, and I have changed 6 jobs in last 8 years. But again, a professor last year gave me this concept of M&M, market and mountains. He said, son, market is a reality. You have to be there to earn money. Mountain is a place where you go to refuel your energy and go back to market. And that concept has made a shift in my mind. So now I work for 8 or 9 months, and then take a break for 3 or 4 months. And this is working for me from last 3, 4 years. So my friends, what is your market? What is your mountain? You may be an employed, self-employed, or businessman or an investor, but you need a mountain to refuel. That mountain can be Toastmaster. It can be leadership speak. Whatever it is, if you have to make sure that you have to perform in the market well, make sure that you also go to the mountain. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod. As usual, your speech was joyous, was humorous, learning, and life lessons. It is said a person who has a wife is a master of life, and you proved. And I hope you be safe today at home today, or you hide for the weekend from your wife before this goes viral. A great speech, a great learning, a great laughter. Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod. And coming to the end of prepared speeches, all the speeches really made an impact, really made a great learning to our life. And I find every time, every meeting of Toastmasters grows 1% or 2% in me, a new dimension is always being unlocked. Seeing people's perception, seeing people's thinking, seeing how to view things or ideas about. So before I go ahead, I would like the timer to post the timer's report in the chat. And in the meanwhile, I would like the Zoom master to launch the poll for the best effort speaker. Please vote for the best speaker. We'll have a minute. And guess, there is a guest book in the chat, or I would request the grammarian to post the guest book once again, and please register yourself with the guest book. I really love today's meeting, the power of saying no, and great speeches, and great philosophies, and great lessons in difficult and different situations. I really enjoyed it. I hope we all enjoyed it and having a clarity of towards better life. So those who have not voted, let us vote for the best speaker once again. So we're coming to the end, coming to the evaluations. This is the real lesson of Toastmasters. Toastmasters is not about the speeches. Toastmasters is about the evaluations. The evaluations, that is the breakfast for the champions. Evaluation is not just a breakfast, I believe it's also breakfast, lunch, dinner, and altogether a full course meal for a champion. That is where we have to focus on. It's not just, I repeat, it's not just for the speakers alone, but it's for all of us. We all make mistakes. We all need to know what is right, what is wrong, and how do we approach for that. So let me welcome Toastmaster Nicole Miller, who's going to be the general evaluator and will be introducing the evaluators thereon. Toastmaster Nicole Miller, the floor is yours. Hands to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atul. You have been doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much for guiding us thus far. As our Toastmaster of the day said, evaluation is not just the breakfast of champions, but for those who are having their lunch or dinner at this time. And so we'll start with our first evaluator, who is Toastmaster Jyoti. She will be giving us feedback on the toast that was done by Toastmaster Fabian. Toastmaster Jyoti, how are you today?
Top of the world. Thank you very much for asking.
I can see that. So tell us about Fabian's presentation earlier on as he toasted the theme of today's meeting, Know a Leader's Superpower. Over to you, Toastmaster Jyoti.
Fabian, you raised the toast confidently and passionately with a strong emphasis where you conveyed the importance of empathy in leadership with clarity and on also fostering growth and unlocking potential. It was an engaging delivery because you did have the audience clued in right there. It was important because you spoke about human connection and empathy again. Well, moving on to something that's very important here at Leadership Speak. We align to the theme. I have a few observations, if you may share with you. I was waiting for a direct connection to the theme of the day. No being the superpower for leaders. I was most certainly waiting because that is my biggest challenge, to say no, and I can land myself into so many unwanted issues. So I wanted to see what was happening. 2, it's important being the first delivery, and that is what puts the entire meeting in focus as well. So it would have been nice if you had brought in, interestingly, how saying no and making sure that it's okay to say no would have been much better. 2, framing. We talk about framing here because it's important when you're presenting. Ideally, if you had kept a solid background, it would have been better. And I noticed towards your left, your glass was ghosting. It's important to have a quick practice to see when you raise the toast, bring it in front so it does not ghost. And you're very clear. That's key when we deliver the toast. As much as, yes, you were right, standing up, and that was brilliant. So in summary, I would like to say passionately delivered, and you were very mindful about what you could do because you stood up and your presence was fine, but yet, if you can be aware of the theme of the day and making sure there's no ghosting, it will take you to even better deliveries. Thank you, and over to Toastmaster Nicole.
Awesome job, Toastmaster Jyoti. I liked how you gave Fabian feedback, starting first with what was connecting with us, and then where he could have improved, because I too was looking for a personal story in which he had to say no, and how saying no benefited Fabian in that situation. I also like the fact that you indicated it's the very first speech that everyone will hear, both the members and guests, and so it sets that tone for the meeting. Thank you so much for that feedback, Toastmaster Jyoti. And we'll move over to Toastmaster Anna, who will be evaluating the Toastmaster of the day. I think the Toastmaster of the day has been doing a fabulous job. Toastmaster Anna, however, will give us more details on what she thinks about the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Anna.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator, and our Toastmaster, Atul. Atul will execute his Toastmaster of the role from the path Leadership Development, Managing Online Meetings. And the purpose of this speech is to facilitate an online meeting. A Toastmaster's journey begins at least 2 weeks before the event, when they team up with a leadership educational speaker to craft a theme and prepare the write-up for the media. Well done. Atul's introduction speech resonated perfectly with the theme of the day, skillfully also incorporating the word clarity, if I heard it correctly. And in line with Leadership Speak protocol, he excelled and masterly orchestrated the meeting with supreme proficiency. Well done. The agenda was flawlessly finalized beforehand, and with all the speakers confirming their speech titles and submitting their introductions promptly, truly recommendable. The introductions for the speakers were sharp, succinct, and right to the point, reflecting exceptional precision and preparation. After the speeches, you gave each speaker the respect and attention you would want to receive. And the handover to the general evaluator was executed with impeccable finesse, ensuring a smooth and seamless transition. I'd like to challenge you on a few recommendations. Your Zoom presence. I noticed that you remained still and in one place when you spoke. It is preferred that the Toastmaster of the day, and especially all functionaries, stand while delivering the speeches and playing the role. Vocal variety. Your voice was a bit monotone, and here I want to challenge you to keep listeners interested. Vary your speed. When I spoke to Atul about his evaluation, he was remarkably confident, and it radiated throughout his exceptional performance as Toastmaster of the day today. Atul, as a first-timer in this role of leadership speak, your achievement is truly impressive. He smiled all the time. Congratulations on your outstanding debut, and I wish you continued success. Madam General Evaluator.
Okay, is everyone hearing me? Can somebody just give me a response so I can know that you're all hearing me?
Yes. Loud and
Thank
clear.
you, Zara.
Oh, yes.
It's just so coincidental. The electricity just went when it's my time to speak. But here we are again, like quick reflex to get back up. Okay, thank you, Anna. So I would have missed a portion of your evaluation on the Toastmaster of the day, but I did make some notes here. I like the fact that, Anna, you complimented the Toastmaster of the day about his comments that he made after each speaker. I too observed that, and I think it was excellent. You used the word supreme. I like that description. I like the fact that you and remind members perform this for some time now on the day of the meeting. It actually starts 2 weeks before organizing and planning. So I like the fact that you included all that work that Atul would have to put into this session to make it successful. And we now move on to our next evaluator. Just a moment. Our next evaluator would be Toastmaster Rosie. Toastmaster Rosie, are you ready to tell us more on our superpower that we're conditioning ourselves for today? Toastmaster Rosie,
Absolutely.
over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Saying no is a powerful tool for growth. What a phenomenal message, and how apt for an audience like Toastmasters who are set and determined to grow. Thank you very much, Guerdah, for a beautifully delivered presentation on the superpower of saying no. Very many positive things. you asked me, and I will start with what you asked me to look for, which was the flow, the structure. And I'd say your structure was beautiful because you started with a hook, which was a statement or a quote from your mother about saying no. Secondly, you continued and gave us a roadmap saying that you will give us 6 good reasons for saying no. And we were salivating to hear the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all of them were educational. They were takeaways. They were powerful messages as to how, in fact, you use powerful language in explaining them, like, overwhelmed, overcommitted, resentment, shame, blame if you don't say no, etc. So I thought that was extremely, extremely well done. And then you came full circle as you came to the close, brought your mother back and showed us how saying no will let us know the personalities of the other party. Brilliantly done, great flow. So if that's something you are working on, you aced it. Secondly, the clarity with which you delivered the message was impressive. As someone said in the chat, your pace allowed them to register the solid points, the nuggets that you shared. It was an informative, strong, powerful speech. But because you were clear, you enunciated each word, you paused to let us really digest the message. So that was great. I was also very impressed at how you delivered such a long presentation with no notes. You did not look like you were looking anywhere. So all in all, again, that was really, really well done. 20 minutes to capture our attention, and you're so well prepared. You used some stories, which was great. So how do I feel that you would elevate this? First, and we always talk about Zoom presence here, your Zoom presence was good in that you were right center stage, but I would have liked to see more of you. There were only 2 times that I saw your hands, once that way and once that way. I would have liked to see more of you with that assertion and the no. Secondly, and I think what's very important, is a keynote type presentation really is one where you get into the hearts and the minds of the audience. You truly got into our minds, you shared some stories, but you talked about your own self being overwhelmed, overpowered, but I didn't hear those experiences. I challenge you to have the courage to share with us where you failed to say no. And then that overwhelm that you felt, that pain that you experienced, how you therefore learnt to say the no. That would have also given you the opportunity to have tonality, to show us the pain of the overwhelm, to show us the enthusiasm when you finally learnt to say no. But all in all, it was a powerful message. All of us struggle with saying no, even though you commended us at Leadership Speak for being able to say no. I think we all struggle. So thank you so much for showing us the value of saying no and for inviting us to say no. So clear, precise, extremely good structure. I'd invite you to share your personal experiences so we feel the emotional connection and engage at a deeper level. Thank you very much, Guerdah. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Awesome, Toastmaster Rosie. I see somebody saying that it feels rosy in here. I can agree with that comment in the chat. Toastmaster Guerdah, my apology. Yes, I like the fact that she spoke about the strong influence her mom had on her, and she shared some of those stories. I also like the fact and the connection that she made about self-directed leaders learn to prioritize when they say no. And the Toastmaster of the day, he just used Toastmaster Guerdah's Leadership Speak presentation to really blend that in, being able to prioritize. He mentioned his 2 babies, Toastmasters and his job. And I think he really just weaved through that presentation nicely. So Guerdah was able to make that connection with the theme and her presentation and the Toastmaster of the day, just really capitalizing on it. I would agree with Toastmaster Rosie as well, that I wanted to hear a story that connected more and give me that sense of feeling that I felt what Guerdah felt when she had to say no. Moving right along now to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Guerdah. Toastmaster Guerdah will be giving us some feedback on Toastmaster Arouna. Can we get Toastmaster Guerdah spotlighted here?
Can I start?
Nice to have you today, Toastmaster Guerdah. We can't wait to hear what you have to share with us today, because your evaluation on the speaker is not just for the speaker, but for all of us to learn and grow. Go ahead, Toastmaster Guerdah.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I love the clarity and the way
Is
you
she frozen?
constructed.
Toastmaster Guerdah, are you speaking?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we all can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. I love the clarity and the way you constructed your speech, Toastmaster Arouna. You showed us through your personal story the change of communication and the effectiveness of the change of communication. Through your personal story, you explained to us how you send a negative message, especially to your boss, although you were expressing your true opinion. And then you went through how you learned to become more diplomatic when you give feedback, not only to higher ranks than us, but even to your fellow Toastmasters, to your coworkers, to your family and friends, and how effective to be diplomatic when you give feedback. You send people with positive message. I also like how you changed the tone of your voice when you said, enough is enough. That really had an impact on me as well. Few things to improve maybe on for the future. Although your message was clear and crisp, you said effective communication allows us to build better relationship. But your message came as a surprise to me. I would have liked to hear another example or another short story of how, when you change from being a direct communicator to a more diplomatic or positive communicator, and the impact on maybe a member of your family or coworker. And I would like you as well to frame your message by changing your tone of voice. I would say effective communication allows us to build better relationship, make it clear to all of us. The other thing I would have liked you to do is stand up and show us your gesture, because body and face and hand gesture really emphasize our words. All in all, really clear and very smooth transition between your opening and body and your message. I like the change of your voice when you change it into loud to show us the impact of a negative communication on others. And to improve is to stand up when you speak, to show us more gesture, and to emphasize your message, and to give us another story to have a better impact. All in all, wish you all the best. Great speech. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Gilda, and your feedback to the speaker. It's most definitely relevant to all of us. And I have some lessons that I will implement as well from your evaluation. We will move swiftly on to Toastmaster Terence, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Aries. Toastmaster Terence, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, you're not telling us no today. It's
No,
not the
definitely.
place for that superpower. No.
No, this is not the place to apply
Okay.
that superpower. I reserve it for other occasions.
Right.
Should I say
So
yes now?
It's yes for you. Go ahead, Terence. You may.
Toastmaster Irish Cassinela. What a wonderful and well-organized speech you've just presented. I especially enjoyed the use of statistics, showing us how 70% of businesses and 70% of projects in that matter fail within their first year or something to that effect by McKinsey. I also enjoyed how you went into a concept that I've been struggling with and I've been coming across a lot of times, especially in project management and various areas, which is the broken window theory. I would encourage any Toastmaster guest to look into that theory. It's quite interesting. It will help you in your life. And that brings me to the second bit. I like how you engage the audience when you went ahead and asked, and even when you look at your call to action, it's like, is there a broken window? So let us commit to fix those broken windows. In line with the theme of today, telling you, yes, I have indeed gone beyond and above and just told you yes to the effect of those two things. There are some areas I feel you can improve to make your speech more effective. Remember, as a leadership, as we look at leadership speak, we want to ask ourselves, what is the takeaway for the audience? Is there a clear call to action? Was the presentation effective? And does your message inspire, inform, influence, motivate, or persuade? I believe looking at what you presented on, it was about persuading or informing people on looking at those small cracks within our organizations, within our lives, and fixing them before they become too big at some point. And that leads me to the second part of this evaluation, where I would like to challenge you on a few areas. The first one, you had requested me to look out for your clarity and flow. You excelled at clarity. I could hear you throughout the speech. My challenge came about when I noticed that you had your hand to your mouth. That distracted me for a moment. I would encourage you to avoid such distractions. The second thing that I would like to encourage you as you go forward is to align your presentation to your objectives or your project. Remember this, the purpose of this project was to look at an experience that you've had leading a project or leading a team in that project. So I would encourage you to look back at that so that you're able to align it. And even as you talk about the broken glass theory, we can feel and we can see a relatable story in your experience. All in all, well done. You excelled at delivering your speech and keeping the attention and even involving the audience. Thank you, and back to you, Nicole Miller-Douglas, General Evaluator.
Terrific job, Terence. I love that. All the notes that I made here, I noticed you mentioned them, so I won't be repeating them. But the thing that stood out for me, the broken window theory, I have it written down here in bold so that I can reflect on it some more. And we'll move swiftly over to Sabnam, who will be sharing her evaluation on Toastmaster Bindu, everyone listen up very well, because this evaluator has a very good superpower. She is a super evaluator. When she speaks, you listen keenly. Over to you, Toastmaster Sabna.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. I hope my husband listens to me more often. Hope he listens to this also. Are you being affected by a silent killer? Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and specifically Toastmaster Bindu, good evening from my side of the world. Toastmaster Bindu today delivered an informational speech. And she touched a very, very, very important topic. Now, so there were a lot of highlights for me in her speech, some of them being the concept. The concept of depression was so well explained that so many little things can actually lead to such a big disease. Second, the use of a case study and role play within it. Now, she could have just explained it and gone with it, but she actually used a case and she explained that why that person, Mr. Derek, was having depression and what led to the depression and how she treated it later on. Third, the connection towards the end that she made with Toastmasters, that you are already in a place where you get an opportunity to express yourself. So you're already doing something good for yourself. Fourth, towards the end of her speech, she also gave means to deal with depression, like morning jogging and expressing yourself. Now, obviously, I do have some suggestions. Number one, voice. Toastmaster Bindu, when you start your sentence and when you end your sentence, those 2 points are not very audible. So when you start your sentence, start it powerfully, end it powerfully, so that your entire sentence has the same audibility. Secondly, throughout your speech, I thought that you were looking down on the screen as if you were looking to yourself on the screen. Rather, look at the lens. Like this, everybody will feel that you are having eye contact with the speaker. Number third, your smile. Bindu, Toastmaster Bindu, I love your smile. You have a very beautiful smile. But what happens is that when you are speaking of something extremely serious, at that time you have to control your smile. You have to have that poise. Then it becomes even more effective. Because if you're speaking of something very serious and you have a smile on your face, then the seriousness of that situation gets diluted. So in order to conclude my evaluation for you today, I would like to say, great concept, very good explanation. You connected with the audience with the example of Toastmasters, and you also gave means to deal with depression. But yes, I do have a couple of suggestions, like your voice. You were looking down throughout the meeting, and your starting and ending of the sentence. All the best, and over to you.
Wow, did I tell you that Toastmaster Sabna's superpower was doing an excellent evaluation? I loved it. The concept, the connection, her recommendations, it was well received, I'm sure, by Toastmaster Bindu. And did I tell you, something is always in every evaluation for the audience, because evaluation is actually a speech as well. Toastmaster Sabna, thank you. The smile dilutes the seriousness. I think I have that problem too. I love to smile, especially when Toastmaster Vinod was speaking. I was just smiling throughout the presentation. It was just so humorous, and he had serious things that he discussed. Right, so personally, I'll take something from what you just said, serious matters, and Toastmaster Bindu, I'm sure, has benefited from your feedback. And so we'll move now to our next evaluator. That's Toastmaster Deborah. Toastmaster Deborah, are you ready to give us another super evaluation?
Yes, I am ready.
Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Suresh, the best thing that I liked about your presentation today was the points of wisdom that you had within it. For example, you said the best way to handle conflict is to prevent it. Conflict is a bridge of opportunity presented, and harmony is the art of handling or managing conflict. Very good points of wisdom, because the reality is conflict often is not viewed as a bridge or an opportunity, and it's not handled well at all. Very good points of wisdom, and really appreciate that. Two things that I think that you could improve on for your future presentations. Firstly is to do what Vinod did, stand up. Standing up gives you the opportunity to utilize the width and the depth of the stage. It will allow you the opportunity to move and not be stationary in front of the camera. You can include gestures such as things like this. It's going to free you, and you will feel yourself presenting stronger by virtue of standing. The other suggestion is internalize your speech. Spend the time preparing your speech so you move it from your head to your heart, and that you can internalize it so that you don't need to use your notes at all. Every time we look down on the camera at our notes, it really shows up as if we're under a microscope. And to challenge yourself. Some of the evaluators have spoken to this already in some of their evaluations. The power of a story is second to none. Your speech was about conflict. You sort of told a little bit of a story about the conflict, but there's so much room to go deeper. Conflict is a hook. That's what you can use to get the audience's attention right at the beginning. Include one or two other characters in your story. That will give you the opportunity to add in the vocal variety for the different voices of the characters, whether you're lowering your voice or whether you're going really high-pitched with your voice. Tell the story, go deeper. What happened? What was the conflict? Who was involved? How was it resolved? What was the result? Take the audience on a journey. And as Terrence mentioned in his evaluation of his speaker, I would encourage you, use a story so that you can really follow the outline for the project. This was about you telling a story with conflict. You touched on it a little bit. Don't be afraid to go deeper. How did you feel? What were you thinking? Internal dialogue, dialogue to the characters. And then bring it home at the end with a takeaway message for the audience. What did you want us to do as a result of hearing your speech today? Again, great points of wisdom. You can work on internalizing your message and utilizing the stage, and then go deeper with your story that leads up to a takeaway for the audience. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you once again, Toastmaster Deborah, for that in-depth feedback you gave just now. Conflict is a hook. It's not just the speaker who is trying to grab the attention of the audience, but even our evaluator. When Toastmaster Deborah said, conflict is a hook. I had to make a note of that. I liked when she also demonstrated areas for improvement as she gave her suggestion. She said it in that high-pitched tone, and so it caused me to look up even though I was making some notes at the time. So it makes a memorable impression about voice variation, and for me as well as the speaker to remember to include that for our speech to be effective. And our final evaluator for today is Toastmaster Tony. He too will be sharing his superpower with us as he gives us feedback on Toastmaster Vinod's presentation. How are you today, Tony?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Thank you. Feeling great.
Awesome.
Ready to go.
I'm sure you're going to make the rest of us feel as awesome at the end of your presentation. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Vinod, go to the mountain. You spoke with clarity. We know what that means. Now, this presentation was presentation mastery. And you know, during this evaluation process, you have already been quoted by 2 other people. So you have made a masterful presentation. Now, this was an icebreaker. So we got to know you better. I had no idea you were 45 years old. I thought you would maybe be 33, 34. So 45? Wow, okay, we got to know you better. But there was 3 things that you wanted us to target. Were you authentic? Did you hold our attention? And what was our takeaway? Now, honestly, Vinod, you had me at the lamppost. You grabbed the attention and you held on to it within the very first few seconds, which is very critical to hooking the audience. And before I knew it, that red light came on, which showed it was 6 minutes, and you had us actually for the full 7 minutes and 30 seconds that you spoke. And you spoke from the heart, okay? Fly on the wall. You were a fly on the wall who married not just a Spartan, but a family of Spartans. And by the way, that movie was filmed in Montreal. They were like a bunch of hockey players. Woo, 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 just like in the movie. So that was a task that you had to confront. That was you. That was from your heart. And the takeaway. Now, this was really, I think, the most powerful part. So how do you handle all that? How do you deal with relationships and work? We have to take a break. We have to refresh ourselves. Go to the mountain. And that presents really a challenge for me because I do take breaks, but you provided an idea about a measurement, not just a day or 2. You spoke 8 months in the market, 4 months in the mountain. Yeah, that's a challenge. I have to work on that. That's my takeaway. An idea for you. Where do you stand now? You told us about being a fly in the wall, and you told us about your relationship with the Spartans, and you know what you have to do because of your mentors, market, mountain. Where are you now? Are you at the lamppost, still under the light, searching? And I know you're not. I know you're not. But it would be nice if you wrapped up your presentation with taking us back to the lamppost and saying, I found it. You know? So I have 3 things to say to you. It's a summary. Vinod. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well done. Back to you, GE.
I was waiting to hear more, Toastmaster Tony. It seemed as if you had just began doing your evaluation. I loved it. It was very effective. You did a recap of Vinod's presentation. You made reference of some of his content, and there was that comparison. I really liked it. I also liked your inclusion of market, mountain, and you included mentors. That's awesome. In our evaluation, we have persons who we look up to, who perform evaluation with such clarity that we hold them as exemplary. And I find that you did that very well, Tony. And so I will give a summary now about the evaluation of this team. I recognize that all evaluators came prepared to give feedback that would not just we can just take away, but it's an addition to what we already have. So it's not just a takeaway, it's the additional value that our evaluators give to us. And so I'll start with the last one, as I said before. Thanks for highlighting, Toastmaster Tony, some of the takeaways from our speaker. 8 months in the market and 4 months in the mountains so that we can refuel and rejuvenate. You talk about authenticity in presentation. That's a good reminder for all of us as listeners in the audience and those who are doing the actual speech. Toastmaster Deborah, thank you so much for allowing us to understand how to give a speaker feedback that is specific. So when you made mention of that high pitch, you demonstrated it in how you said and referred to high pitch, and you were very specific about letting the speech transition from the head to the heart. And this is a journey that I'm on, learning how to make my speech not just be in my head, but it's right here in the heart where the audience can listen and feel what I felt when I had the experience. So elevating one's speech by adding that power of one's story, that's awesome. Toastmaster Sabnam, I get from your evaluation that you really listened keenly so that you could zoom in on making that contribution to Toastmaster Bindu, elevating her speech. Just when I was engrossed in her speech and how to differentiate depression from other things that persons are experiencing, and that confusion that oftentimes people have and don't recognize that they're actually in depression, you were able to listen, or Evaluator Sabnam was able to listen to actually give something to our speaker that would elevate her next speech. Don't let your smile dilute the serious nature of what you're speaking about. Toastmaster Anna, I really liked how you gave specific statements on how the Toastmaster of the day performed and where he could improve. I think he could improve on reference to our guest as well. And I see him doing that throughout the meeting, but with a little more enthusiasm. I think that would really make it supreme. There are so many other notes that I could mention, but I just really want to mention the power of statistics. I like when Toastmaster Terence referred to the speaker, how he brought in that statistic, 70% of business fail. So in leadership speak, we have a lot of persons who are business persons, and as such, they can have something to help them along their way to ensuring that their business is successful. So all in all, I think the evaluation was good. And so now we're going to be moving over to our grammarian. I'd skipped the grammarian, and I just want to make sure I catch the grammarian's report and that we all can benefit from the grammarian's feedback on the use of the word of the day, clarity. Over to you, Madam Grammarian, Toastmaster Irene.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. The word of the day, clarity. So what I will start with how many times the word of the day was used and the expressions and phrases and quotes that I heard today. The word of the day has been used 26 times, with some using it once. The Toastmaster of the day, Rosie Runner, using it 3 times, and Suresh used it a minimum of 8 times. What did I think that was said well? There were expressions like shame, blame, overwhelm, authentic, attention, value, walking around the lamppost, elevate, rejuvenate, zoom in. Other expressions that I thought were very catchy. You must learn to say no, even if you usually say yes. Not saying no may seem like the path of least resistance in order to keep the peace. Learn to say no thoughtfully without guilt. Not my cup of tea. Another expression is the way you tell the truth is more important than the truth itself. All your communication should be about your audience. Issues left unattended will continue to decay. And of course, this has even been mentioned by an evaluator, the broken window theory. Depression is a silent killer. Listen before you leap. A speaker, one Toastmaster said, harmony is not the absence of conflict. It is the art of managing it. Market and mountain. And when we look down, it shows like we are under a microscope. There was only one misappropriation of the English language. A speaker said, my opinion in the front of my boss. A better way to say that would be my opinion in front of the boss. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Irene, for sharing with you, and to cap it all in the value that we add to our audience each time we speak and each time we lead a project. We envelope clarity so that each person understands their role, what is expected, and when we know what is expected, we're able to deliver that with that superpower, with that passion, with all that moving from the head to the heart. We understand each other when there is clarity. And indeed, conflict can be seen as a bridge as we condition our minds to say no when it's appropriate, to reduce our stress and to ensure that we are living a purposeful life. And I want to end by saying and quoting Steve Jobs, who said, people think focusing is about saying yes to the things you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that there are. You have to pick carefully. I'm actually as proud of the things we haven't done as the things I have done. Innovation, Steve Jobs says, is saying no to 1,000 things. So there you have it. Good ideas will always be there, but sometimes we have to say no so that we can remain stable mentally and focus on our purpose. And to our guests, say yes to Leadership Speak and become a member. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Atul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nicole, for the beautiful evaluations and getting us through all the evaluations and the general evaluators report.
Toastmaster of the day,
Yes.
Evaluators polls.
Yeah. Could I please request the Zoom master to post the evaluations poll? So, dear friends, let us spare some time and select the best evaluator. The poll is on. Poll is on. Those who missed it, let us vote for the best evaluator. I hope everyone really enjoyed the speeches, the evaluations, and the lessons of today. Even me myself, being and saying no, I learned the different aspects and prospects of people thinking about saying no. And how do they visualize? It was really great on discussing a great theme and listening to the great speeches and great evaluations. So before we go ahead, I would like to request Toastmaster Brahm, if you are presenting some training session today, or there was some doubt of clarification.
For
Thank you,
the
Brahm. Thank you
agenda,
for the update.
It's Mariam Saiyed.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Brahm. So let's go to the Toastmaster. Let's go to the thoughts on the theme. So let me welcome Toastmaster Mariam Saidevi on discussing about thoughts on the theme. Toastmaster
Thank you
Mariam, the
so
floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Know a leader's superpower. Follow Toastmaster and beloved guest. My thought for the on meeting the team. Leadership is not about saying yes to the everything. It is about knowing when to say no. A strong leader knows that the saying no takes clarity, courage, and confidence. It's help them to stay focused on what really matters and avoid distraction. In today's busy world, leaders focus in less requests but saying yes to the everything by saying no to things that don't align with the goals. Leaders can achieve more meaningful results. Saying no, it isn't about not rejecting the people. It is a smart choice to protect time and the energy for high impact. At the leadership speak, we pro, uh, we practice this every day. Our the professional team they say no to the project that doesn't fit our the mission to be best club for the experience. Toastmaster helping them grows as the self-direct leaders. Saying no, they create the room for the what truly matter is the allow the leader to be effective, lead with the purpose, and achieve success. Remember, saying no, it is not a weakness, it's the leadership power used to make the better decision, focus on your goals, and inspire others to do the same. Lead with the purpose, lead with the no. A leader's superpower when say no. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mariam, for the powerful thoughts on the theme. Coming to the conclusion and the end, saying no isn't about being negative, it's about being smart. It's about focusing on what's important, staying true to your values, and making space for things that matter. Great leaders use no to lead with clarity, purpose, and strength. As I told in between, the action for today is let us say and let us embrace those to say no to our fellow Toastmasters, to fellow guests, to fellow strangers, to fellow colleagues when it really is no, and say yes when it is truly a yes, and use our superpower that is no. And I conclude by saying no. Thank you, friends. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, being a Toastmaster of the day, and hope we all had and learned great lessons and enjoyed the sessions. I would now hand hand the screen to Toastmaster Brahm. Toastmaster Brahm, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you. Atul, I will let you have the awards displayed after I've spoken. I just wanted to, of course, welcome the guests. That's why I'm here. And that's the only reason why I'm here. But let me just also mention one thing is being an advanced club. I would love to see our speakers stand and deliver their presentations because it's an advanced skill and we're an advanced club. And it was very well mentioned by the evaluators, and one speaker actually did stand and deliver. So that was great. We have quite a lot of guests here today, and we peaked at 51 people in the room today, which is awesome. However, before I ask the guests to be introduced, I would like to acknowledge our 3 new members, and they are Nicole White. So we have got 2 Nicoles now, so you have to be careful which Nicole you're going to be calling. So if you can spotlight Nicole White for me. And so please put on your video, Nicole White, Shanicia Bellamy, and Antonia Hernandez. If you can put on your video so you can be spotlighted and we can acknowledge you as our brand new members. Superb. So Nicole, you are actually not far from where I am. I'm in Mississauga, you are in Brampton, so we are like literally 10 miles apart, less than that. So that's great. Welcome, Antonia, all the way from Germany. And Shanicia Bellamy from Guyana. So this is our second member from Guyana, first member from Germany. So we have a German flag, as you can see in the background. And of course, Nicole White is Canadian. She's just a few miles from where I am, very nearby. So welcome you all. Thank you so much for being members. And we hope to serve you to the very, very best. We are an advanced club. We are the top club globally. So our customer service and standards are high. We will serve you as best as we can and more. Thank you. Now, I'd like to acknowledge our guests that are here. And I'd like to call on Felucia Alamina. Hey, Felucia, how are you? If you can put on your video or your sound when I call you, that'll be great. So let me know when you are around. I would like to call on Sonia Morel. Sonia Morel is from South Africa. We'll wait for them to put on their video. Lenglin Leong. Okay, most of our guests are not near there. Oh, there is Lenglin Leong. Hey, how are you?
How are you? Sorry,
So good to
I'm not
see you.
also at LL. LL is less of a mouthful than Langeline Leong. I'm Chinese.
Langeline. Okay,
Yes,
Langeline Leong. Where are you from, Langeline?
I'm ethnically Chinese, but Singaporean. Singaporean.
Singaporean, all
Singapore
right.
is Southeast Asia in Southeast Asia.
Yes, I've been to your club once, and our member Hannah was a member of your club there, I believe. How did you hear about us?
Someone said that the meeting was starting or had started, so I entered. Someone
Okay.
posted in a group. Yeah, thanks
Sure.
for.
And did you like the meeting? Are you a Toastmaster already? And would you
Yeah,
like to
I
be a member?
loved the meeting because I was a chartered VPE of an
All right.
advanced club here in Singapore.
Oh,
But it
great.
evolved into a basic club, as when Singaporeans see that it's an advanced club, they don't want to join. Yeah, they get afraid because they feel that their command of the English language is basic. Most of
Right.
us do not have, although we learned English from young, but natively, we do not have a very firm grasp of the language.
Well, you seem to be speaking very well. And would you like to be a member of Leadership Speak? Is that why you're here?
This is my first preview.
Oh, all right.
I am currently a member of 3 clubs.
3, wow.
Yeah, and I'm already paying more than $1,500 in annual membership.
Singaporean dollars, of course. And not a problem. Of course, if you're a member of 3 clubs, then Leadership Speak is a very heavy investment and needs a lot of attention. So please do visit us as much as you can. And when you're ready to become a member, let us know. But please do visit us as many times as you can. There's no limits to the number of times you can visit. Thank you, Langeline.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. It looks like, oh, there's Sonia. Oh, and there's Felucio. Hey, Felucio Alamina, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So good to see you again, and know that we've been in contact a while back, because I think you had
Yes.
indicated you wanted to be a member before. So how's it
Yeah.
going now? Are you still wanting to be a member, or you're still thinking, or?
So I've visited Leadership Speak a few times, and I really like it here. It's
All
just
right.
that, like you said a few minutes ago, that it's heavy, and one has to really be sure they are ready to commit fully.
Absolutely.
So yeah, at the moment I'm juggling a few things, and I'd like to just allow some things to sort of fizzle out, then I can throw myself fully into Leadership Speak. Yeah, at the moment in my area, I'm the area director in back in Nigeria. So I have quite a few things I'm juggling in addition to work and others. So I'd like to just sort of lighten my load a bit, and then I can throw myself fully in. But I'm totally enjoying the meetings, the ones I've attended, so far. Yeah.
You know, Felucia, I've always wanted to be able to juggle, but I've never been able to. Maybe I could learn something from you, how to juggle balls in the air. I think I've been saying too many no's, so I only have one ball.
Okay, so maybe it's a good thing. I mean, this meeting, I probably learn how to say a few more words. This year, I plan to really be deliberate about, so I pick a lot from today's meeting, and I'll put it to practice, surely. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being a good sport, and you're welcome to
Thank
visit
you.
as many times as you like.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Felucia.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see now who else. Oh, Sonia Morel. Hi, Sonia, all the way from South Africa. How are you?
I'm very well, and yourself? How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well as well. And I've seen in the guest book you've indicated an interest in joining.
Yes, I really enjoy visiting Leadership Speak. I learn a lot from this club. Although come again?
No, I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
Okay, I was saying I'm enjoying to visit the Leadership Speak Club. Yes, I'm a member of Toastmasters in South Africa. I'm the president of Step Up and Above Club, Area 6, District 129. Yes, I'm still working on a few things. I wish one day to be a member of Leadership Speak so that I can advance. in my communication.
Super. And thank you for visiting. And please do visit us as many times as you would like to. There's no limitations. And so thank you for coming. I really appreciate that. And if there's anything that you need, let us know.
Okay, no, I will.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Sonia.
much.
So good to have you.
To be here too.
Thank you. I just want to look at my big screen here and see who else is here for us today to acknowledge. Winnie Kodawa? Winnie. Hey, Winnie, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Hello,
It's
Winnie.
always hi,
How are
hi.
you?
Sorry,
Winnie, where
I'm
are you?
fine, thank you. From Nairobi, Kenya.
You're from Nairobi?
Yes, from Nairobi.
Oh, we should
Always
speak
a
Swahili.
guest
Habari yako?
visiting.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Nashukuru. It's been a pleasure being here. It's always a pleasure. I log in as a guest because I'm also a member of 2 clubs. And when I join in, I get the most of it from the speakers, from the evaluation. As you said, you offer excellence in the meeting.
How did you hear about the club?
I've always been here as a guest.
Now, how did you hear about us?
It was from the initial aspect when the club was forming.
Oh, 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago.
Yes.
Wow. So then you should be ready to be a member then, huh, Vinny?
Yes, but given that I'm already in 2 clubs, maybe it will be a bit tricky.
I understand.
For now.
Of course.
Yes. All
Of
right.
course, definitely.
Thank you.
And please do come and visit us as many times as you like, and
All right.
take advantage of our meetings and learn from them. Thank you for being here. And if there's anything we can do for you, let us know. Thank you, Winnie.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Take care. And I think with that, I've addressed all the newer guests that are around, that have been here or are here. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will now pass this on to Atul Sankar to close the meeting. Over to you, Atul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Brahm. Thank you. So coming to the results, it's always a feeling of anxiety, feeling of stress, feeling of highness. So let's wait for the results. Let's see who has been the best today. Coming to the best evaluator, drum rolls, please. The best evaluator is none other than DTM Vinod Panicker. Congratulations, DTM Vinod Panicker. Congrats. I would request if the PR master could share the certificate if possible. And coming to the best, thank you, PR master. Thank you. Coming to the best speaker, coming to the best evaluator, it is Toastmaster Sabnam Saiyed. Coming to the best evaluator, it is Toastmaster Sabnam Saiyed, and the best speaker is DTM Vinod Panicker. So PR Master, could we have the certificates on the screen, please? I think maybe PR Master is there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, PR Master. I really thank for this meeting, as I said, and I would really appreciate all of you for sparing the time and attending our meeting, members and guests. By the power invested in me, I adjourn this meeting. And I would like to request the Zoom master to stop the recording. Thank you. Signing off.